The board will consider a request by the Islamic Center of Culpeper for pump and haul permit on tax map parcel number 31-67, located on Route 229, 14434 Rixeyville Road. So who's?
Madam Chairman, I can kick that off and at least give you a little information. You received an application from the Islamic Center of Culpeper for this pump and haul. To remind the board, pump and haul permits are ultimately approved by the Health Department, but they do require county approval first. This particular piece of property is the site of a home that's been abandoned for some time, and the parcel itself has never had a drain field. It will not support a drain field. The Health Department has provided documentation to that effect. And so the request is to approve a pump and haul that would, again, ultimately go to the Health Department, and once approved by them, would potentially allow the user to set up a prayer and meeting house.
Okay. Madam Attorney?
I just wanted to share with the board that I haven't had an opportunity to perform any legal review of the pump and haul contract, and 15.2-1237 of the Virginia Code requires that the county attorney approve as to form any contract entered into by the county. A pump and haul agreement is a written contract, and I just think it's a matter of me being new. These don't happen that often. I noticed that there's some citations in our pro forma agreement that the regulation site I don't even think is the correct site, and so if I could be allowed an opportunity to look at it, because I just want to make sure that I can properly approve it as to form. So,
okay.
And
one question: the present owner didn't apply. Didn't put in the application, did they?
all this was brought to my attention on yesterday, and very quickly what was confusing to me too was that the applicant isn't the landowner in the land records, and so I don't exactly have enough information to figure out. I mean,
The landowner has to make the application. It only stands
well,
to
and I
reason.
haven't even, I got to tell you, I printed out the regulations this morning because I noticed the regulation was the site was not the proper site, and I'm not sure who is permitted under the regulatory scheme, like a landowner, maybe it's a lessee. I don't know, and I just can't do it from the dais. I can't.
I'll make a motion to table it.
If I could just have that opportunity to the next meeting to
No,
look at
I think I'm a slow learner. I'd like you to find out what you want, and then I'll take a time to study it. So I'd like 60 days.
Seconding your motion, Mr. Chase.
I just have one comment. I know that we've had developers, we had one last month that came before us for a use permit, and they had a contract to buy, and they were the applicant, so I don't think it has to be the owner, but that's up for you to review.
Right.
Yeah, but we also don't have that contract, do you?
Well, we didn't have the other one either, did we?
Well, I went jumped through rings to get a pump and haul for out in Stevensburg. I had a whole lot.
I remember.
Unfortunately, if you could put the blame on me, I am very familiar with, when it comes to land use matters, that the applicant very well may be the developer or the owner. That's
All right.
That's been my practice to know that for at least the last 12 years. Pump and haul agreements, where unfortunately you don't see too many of them in Prince William, and even in my spot C before I didn't see. So I'm just I'm not sure under that's in code section 32.1 is the Virginia code for that, and then the attendant regulations are at like 5 VAC chapter 610. So I just don't have the familiarity with that to know.
But do you need 60 days or 30 be okay?
I only need a couple days, but what others may need, I mean, that's.
Well, you're the
I need
lawyer.
60 days, so that's my motion.
That's too long. The only reason I'm saying that's too long, I remember that other case that we just had, and they were entered into a contract to purchase, and it had a timeline. So, I mean, I'd hate
But
to
we
stop
don't have
people
any of this
from.
documentation. I mean, they should have put it in if they wanted. They can put in a new request with a timeline on it, but
Whatever.
on the contract.
I think they have shared the contract with Mr. McLaren, but we haven't I haven't had an opportunity to read anything or know if that is, if it can
Review
be
it.
someone other than the record owner. It very well may be that a contract owner could. It could be that somebody who enjoys some other legal relationship with the property owner. I don't know. Maybe there's a requirement in the regulation that says you have to have the consent of the landowner and the land records. I don't know, and it's
Well, we
it's
can
over
ask
86
Sam
pages
if
of
they have a
regulation.
timeline on it.
Madam Chairman, if I can intervene, the applicant filled out the agreement that we require, and he signed it, and he identified the hauler that would do the pumping and hauling as requested, and he did provide the Planning and Zoning Office a copy of his contract to purchase the property. So it was the Planning Office's understanding that things were in order. It's clear that Mrs. Alexis needs some time to ensure that, but I would certainly recommend that 30 days would be adequate.
So, Mr. Chase, would you like to amend it to the 30 days, just to our next meeting, so she has
Well,
time
I
to
can
review it?
count
We
votes,
can
so I guess I
discuss it
will.
then. Pardon me?
I said I can count votes, so I guess I will amend it.
Okay, so you're going to amend your motion to review this again at our next meeting?
Yeah, but I would be, well, that's behind the scenes, but I'd like to be brought up in a week or so that I can
I'm
study it
sure
myself.
Miss Alexis can do that, but, all right.
I'll
So
make
we
a report. And
have them, pardon me?
I'll make a report to Supervisor Chase in a few days.
Okay.
Or just tell me on a phone call.
All right, so we have a motion. We have a second for the amended
And I
motion?
concur with my second on the 30 days.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, so motion carries. So we'll review this again next month. All right, so then next on the agenda is committee report.